What's up, Giants fans? Tom from 1925 going over a big blue free agent. The tampering window is just hours away. Definitely very excited to go over some stuff with you all here this morning. So, first and foremost, if you're new to the channel, make sure to check us out on all of our social media platforms on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at 1925 The New York Giants podcast. So, we're going to talk about some internal free agents the Giants might bring back, some external free agents that, might be some John Harbaugh blueprint guys that could really help improve the team heading into 2026, and guys that fit this culture and this identity with this new regime of coaching staff. So definitely excited to chop that up here this morning. So let's talk about the big fish. And first and foremost, Wan'Dale Robinson. This is a guy who had a career year, 1,000 yards, 92 touchdowns. Right now, he's projected to earn between $15 to $18 million, and a reunion with Brian Daboll, unfortunately, seems likely with Tennessee. They have more cap space than the Giants do at this present moment, so I do think Wan'Dale departs, leaving a hole at the slot receiver position. I think the Giants could find a cheaper option in free agency with similar numbers. So that's where I'm currently at with Wan'Dale. I love him. I don't think the Giants are going to let him walk away easily, but I think Tennessee's going to offer him the bag. So that's where I'm currently at with Wan'Dale, despite loving to have him back. Next up, the guy that I think the Giants must re-sign, priority number one, is Jermaine Eluemunor, right tackle. Signed a 2-year, $14 million deal with the Giants ahead of 2024. Now he's 31 years old, but he believes he's the best right tackle in football, believes he has his best football days ahead of him. 76 career starts. He's one of the better pass blocking tackles in the NFL, and arguably the best right tackle the Giants have had since Kareem McKenzie, quite frankly. And most importantly, he's durable. He played 100% of the offensive snaps last year, and he did play 2 years for the Ravens under John Harbaugh. So there is a connection there. Harbaugh does have familiarity with him. Former 2017 fifth-round pick. I think Eluemunor stays. I think you see him range maybe around $10 million, which is more than what the Giants signed him for 2 years ago. But I do think whatever his market value is now, he will take a bit of a hometown discount to stay with the Giants because I think he believes in John Harbaugh and where this team is headed. Next up, we have Cordell Flott. Awesome player who fits the scheme, but it's bad timing. The 2022 third-round draft pick developed into a starter this past year alongside Paulson Adebo. He allowed just 2 touchdown catches over the past 2 years and started 24 28 games during that span. You look at specifically this last year, he had 1 pick, a forced fumble, and 11 passes defended. I think there's going to be some suitors out there for him. I don't know where he lands. Giants should make an effort to bring him back, but they could go with more of a veteran here, like a Chidobe Awuzie or somebody of that nature. I'd love to have Flott back, but I think he might be a bit too expensive. Next up, one player that I do think is coming back is linebacker Micah McFadden. Got hurt in week 1 last year, the opener against Washington, missed the entire season. But before that, he was pretty durable. In 2024, he started 14 games, had 107 tackles, 8 for loss with 6 QB hits and 3 sacks. He is a great blitzing linebacker, high motor player, and he should come cheap within the market, ranging between $2.5 to $3 million. 2022 fifth-round pick. This was one of the few good draft picks by Joe Schoen, probably the best value pick for the Giants in that 2022 draft. And the one downside about him is obviously he's coming off the injury, and he does have sort of a high missed tackle rate, but that has improved over the years, and you saw that a lot in 2024. 2023 as well, 12 TFLs. I mean, the guy is just a baller. He's not an all-pro, but with Bobby Okereke gone, the Giants need to prioritize re-signing Micah McFadden, bringing an additional free agent linebacker to pair with him, and potentially draft Sonny Styles at number 5 overall. I think that's how you rehaul this linebacker room, and I think it starts tomorrow by re-signing Micah McFadden. Next up, we have Dane Belton, another fourth-round pick in the 2022 draft. Projects as a quality backup safety, good special teamer. No reason to not bring him back. He does have 22 career starts, 240 career tackles. This past season, he started 9 games, played in all 17, had 120 tackles. Doesn't say much about the state of your defense, but about Belton, the individual player that he is. Awesome stuff. 1 pick, 5 passes defended, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 sacks. This is a guy that I prefer to have as a safety number 3 or safety number 4. However, I think Harbaugh is going to like to bring in his guys here. No reason to not bring him back, but I think Belton finds a home elsewhere. Next up, we have Daniel Bellinger, who's had an up and down 4 years with the Giants. 25 years old, solid number 2 tight end, more of a blocker, but a capable pass catcher as well. 62 career games with 42 starts, had a touchdown in that playoff game against Minnesota. This past season, he had 10 starts in 16 games, a lot of 12 personnel sets, good chemistry with Jackson Dart, had 19 catches for 286 yards and 2 touchdowns. However, he has not been the number 1 tight end option since his rookie season in 2022. If the Giants are looking to bring Daniel Bellinger back, that means they won't retain Chris Manhertz. Manhertz, older player, towards the back end of his career, but he might be a cheaper option, especially if the Giants are trying to make a splash signing like an Isaiah Likely in free agency. So right now, I do think Bellinger comes back. I don't know what else they do, though, at the position. All right, a couple more. We have Greg Van Roten, 36 years old, started every game for the Giants each of the last 2 seasons. Age aside, I think he's an awesome player. Very underrated. He has his flaws, commits penalties at times, but he's a mauler. He gets in the opponent's face. Played 100% of the offensive snaps last year with 0 holding penalties. He's a durable player, and he's a young 36. People forget. He didn't become a full-time starter in the NFL until he was 28. He's a journeyman, but he's a Long Island native, and I think you can get him for cheap. And at worst-case scenario, he's your backup utility guy along the offensive line. You drafted Marcus Bowe, sure. As people are saying, don't re-sign JVR. You want continuity on that offensive line. There's no guarantee you can go out and get a Wyatt Teller, or if you can get an Elijah Vera-Tucker. This is a guy I think that you need to bring back for cheap, who probably will take somewhat of a discount to return. Lastly, I think Kreider's a shoo-in to come back. 35 years old. He's been the long snapper since 2020, and he's one of the 5 remaining players who predated the Joe Schoen era. Hysterical. I think he'll be back. Next up, let's talk about some potential big-name free agents or reasonable players that I think the Giants could ultimately target. First one is a player a lot of people have been talking about. The Giants have been connected to Ravens center Tyler Linderbaum. Now, the plus here, he's 25, 2022 first-round pick. He started 66 games in 4 years, 3-time Pro Bowler, allowed 2 sacks last year, played 471 run-blocking snaps, most in the NFL, and I think he would adapt wonderfully with the Giants' run-blocking scheme. The negative, he is looking to reset the market at the center position. Could be looking at $25 million a year. I think that's out of the Giants' price range. You have John Michael Schmitz entering a contract year, and you'd love to get a guy like a Linderbaum who would be a good culture setter, loves to compete, power run blocker, finds additional work when he's uncovered. But for $20 to $25 million a year, he can go to Vegas or Tennessee, teams that have a lot of cap space, and try to rebuild an offensive line there. I don't think the Giants could afford him based off where they're currently at. Next up, Wyatt Teller. This is an interesting option. Now, he did get benched with the Browns last year, but this guy's a former 2-time All-Pro. 101 career starts. He's 31. Once regarded as the best right guard in football, and he started 13 games each of the last 2 seasons for Cleveland. I think Stefanski ultimately got fired from Cleveland because of certain decisions that were made like this. And he did have a calf injury late in the year, but I think he's past that at this point. And Teller's already made a big farewell to the Browns that he's leaving. And one thing people don't know about Wyatt Teller, is that he was drafted by Joe Schoen and the Buffalo Bills back in 2018 when Schoen was the assistant GM to Brandon Beane. He played 1 year there, and then he went to the Browns. 7 years there, and Giants' new O-line coach, Mike Bloomgren, Browns O-line coach last year. Teller might be the new starting right guard next season. Let's see what happens. I think if they're unable to land Linderbaum, which is highly likely, Teller will be the next best option. Next up, we do have a couple other guys. I didn't make banners for them, but Elijah Vera Tucker and Braden Smith. I don't think we get either of those guys. Vera Tucker coming off torn triceps last season. I know a lot of fans want him, former Jet, but ultimately, I don't want to take a risk on somebody that has been significantly hurt 3 of his 5 years in the NFL. And we're talking about less than half a season. 2023, 5 games. 2022, 7. Last season, none. Your best ability is your availability. And until Elijah Vera Tucker proves that, I'm not willing to spend more than like $2 or $3 million on him. So I think that's a big no for me. Next up, looking at the linebacker room, I mentioned they should bring McFadden back, but who will they pair next to him with Bobby Okereke out? The first big name I think about is Jermaine Edmunds, released by the Bears last week, 28 years old, 6'4", 250. When he was a free agent a few years back, I think I wanted the Giants to sign him back then, but he did not. He ultimately signed a 4-year, $72 million contract with the Chicago Bears. This is prior to his departure from the Bills, a former first-round pick under Joe Schoen. A 2-time Pro Bowler, 119 career starts and 900 tackles. He has been so consistent throughout his NFL career. His 8 years in the NFL, he's recorded at least 100-plus tackles. He's been phenomenal. Also had 4 picks for Chicago last year, so he does have a knack for causing turnovers. Played 97% of the defensive snaps. And another plus, he's solid in pass coverage, and he does a good job of wrapping up tackles. Next up, we have Leo Chenal. This is a hot name a lot of people have been talking about. Former third-round pick out of Wisconsin by the Kansas City Chiefs. Last year had 5 QB hits, regarded as a good blitzing linebacker. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion who can get to the quarterback. He's a winner. I wouldn't mind this move at all, but he reminds me too much of Mike McFadden in terms of the way he plays, the way he blitzes a lot. I prefer to get more of a veteran presence in there, like a guy like a Jermaine Edmunds or this next guy I'm going to talk about, Alex Anzalone. 31 years old, played for the Lions the past 4 to 5 seasons, previously with the Saints. Really good career numbers, 613 tackles. This past year with the Lions, down year for their defense. He was a mainstay for them, making 16 starts, 95 stops, 2.5 sacks, and 9 passes defended. He's a reliable starter who's good in run defense. He's a capable pass defender as well. He's also a solid Mike linebacker who I think can better stabilize the second level. Now, sure, he's on the wrong side of 30. His best years might be behind him, but I think he's an upgrade over Bobby Okereke in terms of the way he finishes plays, right? You saw last year Bobby Okereke would barely get on the ground when he was making tackles. So we'll see if they go the Anzalone route. Next up, we have Devin Lloyd, linebacker, 2022 first-round pick by the Jaguars, second-team All-Pro this past year, still just 27 years old, made the Pro Bowl, 10 QB hits with 81 tackles and 5 picks. But his first 3 seasons were very up and down. It wasn't until the Jags brought in Anthony Campanelli as their DC this year that Devin Lloyd really took off. And, I mean, he's always been a tackle machine, but this year he made winning plays. He's very versatile. He has good playmaking ability. He's probably my favorite on this list, and I would not be shocked at all if the Giants sign this man tomorrow. The question is, do they want him? We'll see. Next up, there's been rumors that the Giants are going to beef up this defensive line a little bit. I want to talk about 1 defensive end and 2 defensive tackles. Draymond Jones, who has played for the Baltimore Ravens the past few seasons, and the Titans as well, could potentially be an option here. Still just 29 years old. traded from the Titans to the Ravens last year, started all 17 games, 9 with Tennessee, 8 with Baltimore. He had a career year. He had 7 sacks, 7 TFLs, and this is the big thing here. 24 QB hits, and you can never have enough pass rushers on your football team. Where was Chauncey Golston last year? He was either hurt or non-existent. You didn't hear much about Kayvon Thibodeau getting to the quarterback. So this might not be a bad, cheap option for the Giants. And by cheap, I mean less than what they paid Chauncey Golston. He's not going to be like super cheap, but it could be a bargain type of deal potentially. The 24 QB hits is insane, right? You got to get to the quarterback. And the big thing is, well, the Giants have the most expensive defense in the NFL. They're not doing it, and the coaching needs to uplift the talent. Sure, but you also want to bring in players who are familiar with Denard Wilson's scheme, and Draymond Jones is certainly one of them. There's also rumors that the Giants could trade Kayvon Thibodeau. So if you do that, that frees up a ton of money, and you could easily make a move like this. Next up, John Franklin Myers, defensive tackle, 29 years old, 2018 fourth-round pick by the Jets, has played for the Broncos each of the last 2 seasons. He's played excellent football the last couple years. He's a guy who can stuff the run well and get to the quarterback at the same time, coming off a career-high 7.5 sacks and had 7 the year before that. I think this is somebody the Giants should seriously take a look at. Next up, we have Sebastian Joseph Day. This is the guy I started to talk about, who won a Super Bowl with the Rams, bit of a journeyman, spent some time with the Chargers and the 49ers, but has spent his last 2 years with the Tennessee Titans, and he's been one of the few decent players on that defense. 90 career starts, and under Denard Wilson, he has flourished numbers-wise. 10 starts in 17 games last year, 41 tackles, 6 TFLs, 6 QB hits, and 2 sacks. So this is a guy that could really beef up certain areas of this defense. He can stuff the run. He could mobilize 2 linemen, like 2 blockers at a time. And this is kind of what the Giants brought Nacho in for a few years back, and he was not good against the run at all. So hopefully Sebastian Joseph Day is able to pick up some steam there. The most likely signing. This is one guy I definitely think the Giants are going to sign without question, is fullback Patrick Ricard. 2017 UDFA signed by the Baltimore Ravens. He is 31 years old, 66 starts in 132 games. He's been with Baltimore for the past 8 to 9 years now. 2024 first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, including last year, and a 6-time Pro Bowler. Fullback position, they say it's the dying breed in the NFL. I think it's going to start making a comeback at some point. And if you're moving to a heavy run offense, which is what Harbaugh teams like to do, despite Matt Nagy being the play caller, this is a guy you want to bring in. He's a former defensive tackle, which is probably why he went undrafted. He needed to flip positions. But he's lethal. He can move people. He can protect Jackson Dart really well. And they could use him a similar way they used him in Baltimore. 7 touchdown receptions in his career. He can make those types of plays in the red zone for you. He can be sneaky. Plays about 35 to 40% of offensive snaps, but man, is he a power run game specialist. And he's also deployed frequently as a receiver in the backfield. So he has some nifty stuff to his game. And this is a guy who will instill the type of culture that John Harbaugh is seeking. I definitely think he is an option. I'm going to talk about 2 receivers now that I think the Giants might get. First up is Hollywood Brown, 28, former first-round pick by the Ravens. Spent 3 years there, 2 with the Cardinals, 2 with the Chiefs. His last 2 with Baltimore in 21, he had 6 touchdowns and 1,000 yards. Giants are looking for a number 2 receiver. They need an upgrade over Darius Slayton. Wan'Dale's probably not coming back. Hollywood Brown might be a reasonable option that won't make you break the bank. Next up, a guy who was just released this week, Darnell Mooney from the Atlanta Falcons, also 28 years old. 15 games started this past year. He was not deployed enough, in my opinion. Just 1 touchdown catch. but um, he did have a 1,000-yard year, 80-plus catch year with the Bears in 2021. This is a guy that I think could be a solid number 2 receiver and kind of take over the Darius Slayton role of this offense. Good route runner, creates separation well. Next up, let's talk about some tight ends. I want to talk about 2. Both are free agents for the Baltimore Ravens. The first is Isaiah Likely. You got it. 25 years old. This is the guy everybody wants. Former 5th-round pick by the Ravens. He's 6'4", 245. He's a big boy. And he is an awesome, athletic, receiving tight end who could wrap up some yak. Now, he does have occasional drop problems, but he's a good red zone threat. The Giants have struggled with red zone offense the last few years. Only had 1 touchdown last year, but the year before that had 6, and the year before that had 5. So this is a guy who could run routes really well, catch those, difficult passes, contested catches, and make an offense pop. The next guy is the complete opposite in Charlie Kolar. He is your traditional blocking tight end. I think this is the backup plan if Daniel Bellinger signs elsewhere. A 4th-round pick by the Ravens also in 2022. In fact, he was drafted before Isaiah Likely. I think he's a younger, better option than Chris Manhertz. He's got good size, technique to handle defensive ends. And my personal opinion, watching film of Kolar, he's a more consistent blocker than, and he stands at 6'6", 260. This is a guy I'd love to have on my football team. Next up, we're just going to talk about a couple DBs and wrap this one up. And maybe one other player. Jamel Dean, the cornerback that the Giants have massive links to. Dean, 29 years old, won a Super Bowl with the Bucs in 2020. And I mention him because the Giants tried to trade for Trent McDuffie, and they lost out on him. I think Dean will command around $12 to $18 million a year. Inconsistent throughout his career, but one thing that has stood out to me about him over the past couple of years, he's a strong boundary corner with good man coverage skills, and the Giants want to run that man coverage scheme. Career high 3 picks last year, had 9 passes defended and 2 forced fumbles. Not a bad option. The one massive red flag to me that's kind of leaning away from him a little bit is that he has not started a full 17-game season his entire career. So for that reason, I'd prefer the Giants avoid this guy, but I'm not going to be mad if they do wind up signing him. Next up is Chidobe Awuzie. Older player, 30 years old, took some time to develop, but 86 starts, 108 games across 9 NFL seasons. He hasn't started a whole lot the past couple of years, but he did play for Baltimore this past year and Tennessee the year before that. I think he could fit what Denard Wilson is looking for, played with the Ravens last year and the Titans the year before. He's 5'11", so decent size for a corner. We'll see. Yeah, and I know there's talks about Jalen Watson as well. I didn't do a whole lot of research on him. I know he's more physical, good run, tackling corner, but I think these are the 2 more likely options for the Giants. Couple safeties. Ardarius Washington, 2021 UDFA of the Baltimore Ravens, played 5 years with them. 2024, he got a chance to play due to some injuries, got 10 starts, played in all 17 games. And he made the most of his opportunity. He had 64 tackles, 5 TFLs, 2 picks, and 8 passes defended. And honestly, he just got stuck behind guys like Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, and Alohi Gilman during his time with Baltimore. So we'll see if the Giants want a depth safety and they decide, hey, we don't want to bring Dane Belton back. Ardarius Washington could be an option. Last but certainly not least is Ravens punter Jordan Stout. He is also a UFA, young player, just 25 years old, 2022 4th-round pick, coming off an AP first-team All-Pro year, best punter in football in 2025. Out of 231 career punts, he has an impressive 100 down inside the 20-yard line, and his net is really what stands out to me. Averages 45 yards of net per punt, uh, 50 yards per punt this year and down 24 inside the 20. Also had a 74-yard punt this last year. You want to play a field position game against good defenses and try to win in the playoffs. You want to have a field position edge, and this is a guy that can get the job done. The Giants can clean up a little cap by cutting Jamie Gillen if they do decide. He doesn't save you that much, but he'd save a little bit, a little over $2 million, I believe. So we'll see, unless they decide, hey, we want to keep Jamie Gillen and we want to allocate our resources elsewhere. So just some thoughts on players that I think could work for the Giants, players that I think they are considering and should avoid, and other players that I think, man, I'd really love they sign them, but I'm not sure it's in the cards. So this has been my 2026 Big Blue free agency preview. Let me know what you think below in the comment section. Make sure to drop your thoughts, leave a like, ring the bell for notifications. Check us out on all of our social media channels at 1925 The New York Giants Podcast. We will be live Monday night at 8 p.m. to talk about it all. Cuts, trades, free agency signings, you name it. Be there on Facebook and YouTube at 1925 The New York Giants Podcast. And without further ado, let's go Big Blue.